What is the maximum frequency of a 16 MHz crystal with a stability of 200 ppm? A 16003 200 Hz. B 21465 400 Hz. C 136 12 500 Hz. D 456 42 863 Hz. The correct answer is 16003 200 Hz. What is the minimum frequency of a 16 MHz crystal with a stability of 200 ppm? A 16003 200 Hz. B 21465 400 Hz. C 15996 800 Hz. D 456 42 863 Hz. The correct answer is 15996 800 Hz. Calculate the transmitter output frequency if the transmitter uses a crystal oscillator with a frequency of 14.9 MHz and a frequency multiplier chain with factors of 2, 3 and 3. A 1.564 MHz. B 268.2 MHz. C 264.3 MHz. D 265.6 MHz. The correct answer is 268.2 MHz. Calculate the frequency for maximum drift of crystal if the crystal has a stability of 6300 ppm and an output frequency of 268.2 MHz and frequency multiplier chain with factors of 2, 3 and 3. A 123.5 MHz. B 423.2 MHz. C 269.65 MHz. D 235.1 MHz. The correct answer is 269.65 MHz. The transmission of data by dots and dashes is an example of A. Amplitude modulation. B. Frequency modulation. C. Continuous wave transmission. D. Discrete signal transmission. The correct answer is continuous wave transmission. What is the only oscillator capable of meeting the precision and stability demanded by the FCC? A. Armstrong oscillator. B. Crystal oscillator. C. Hartley oscillator. D. RC phase shift oscillator. The correct answer is crystal oscillator. The device that maintains controlled temperature for crystal oscillators are called A. Crystal stove. B. Crystal ovens. C. Crystal chamber. D. Temperature chamber. The correct answer is crystal ovens. What device is used to prevent power from the transmitter from going to the receiver side? A. Multiplexer. B. Duplexer. C. Monoplexer. D. Filter. The correct answer is duplexer. What generates the final carrier frequency? A. Oscillator. B. Modulator. C. Antenna. D. Power source. The correct answer is oscillator. Frequency multiplier multiplies the frequency deviation produced by the modulator. A. True. B. False. C. D. The correct answer is true. Is used to provide continuous tuning over the desired range. A. Variable frequency oscillator. B. Frequency synthesizer. C. Variable frequency producer. D. Frequency multiplier. The correct answer is variable frequency oscillator.